Good morning, and thanks for tuning in for another episode of Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. I'm Angela Green, your Public Information Officer, in for Shonda Knight today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having me here, Sheriff.
Absolutely. We are delighted to have you sitting in for Shonda, and we've got a great show this morning, I tell you.
Very informative. Let's jump right into it. We have a serious problem right now. In the news a while back, fentanyl-laced pills and accidental overdoses all across the country, but here in Leon County, we're not immune to that either.
No, we're not, and the fact is that in some respects, Gaston County and surrounding counties outside of Leon weren't as prepared perhaps as we should be, and we want to make sure, and that's why our program today is so important, to make sure that all of our first responders are engaged and understand what the protocols are, how to go out and engage with our public. The biggest thing that happened, quite honestly, was not only were some of our law enforcement partners caught off guard, but our citizens were as well in terms of the impacts of fentanyl in our community. We've talked about that for the last 5 or 6 years. Our first responders have all made sure that they've got Narcan so that they can in fact respond and first take care of themselves if they have to, and then make sure that we can give these services to the citizens out there who find themselves in those emergency situations. And that's what this show today is all about, is how can we make sure we keep our community safe and give them the knowledge they need to, if they encounter somebody out there with an opioid drug, that they have the skills and the knowledge about how to have interventions and save lives, quite honestly.
Absolutely, and the timing is crucial because we have thousands of students returning back to the area right now, and it's about education and just making sure, it's like you said, everybody's just caught off guard. We know that there are drugs out in our community, but it's these fentanyl-laced incidents that we're having problems with.
Yes, the fact that there are drugs that people are normally utilize in their everyday walk of life, but you've got people out taking advantage of that circumstances by lacing some of those medications or drugs with fentanyl. And that's why it's so important we get the message out to our students who are coming back to Tallahassee, Leon County, and perhaps from their neighbors, their places in the state, they didn't have these kind of issues or didn't have the situation where drugs are laced with fentanyl. And we just want to make sure that we educate them about that. And we did that last month or two, where we actually went to the local bars and made sure we got the information out to students and to the public about the dangers of fentanyl in our community.
Yeah, and that information is so crucial to help curbing the problem. So we have a jam-packed show. Looking forward to hearing all this information. So coming up next, we'll hear from the Leon County Emergency Medical Services folks and how they're impacted directly. So you'll want to hear all these life-saving tips that could mean the difference in life and death in your loved one. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jimmy Goodman with the Leon County Sheriff's Office, and this is your Crime Tip Tuesday. How to protect your child from cyberbullying. If you discover your child is being bullied, it is important to teach him or her not to react or retaliate. You should block the bully, print out and keep evidence, talk regularly with your child about their online activities and what he or she is involved in. Tell him or her that you are going to review their online activities. Consider installing parental control filtering and understand and know what their passwords are. Always educate your children about the consequences of inappropriate use of his or her electronics. Have a great week. Be safe out there.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Deputy Chief Matt Kemp with the Leon County EMS. We've heard a lot about opioids, Mac, and how devastating they've been in our community. And you and your staff are out there on the front lines. I mean, we do it in law enforcement, but you're there each and every time dealing with these situations. Talk about your experience and what you're seeing here in Leon County.
Well, it really is an epidemic of sorts across the nation and certainly in Leon County also. In the past year, now we deal with overdoses, all different types. We've had probably nearly 1,300 overdoses in the past year or so. About 270 of those have been opioid overdoses, mainly fentanyl in nature. And fentanyl is different. It's a synthetic opioid for people to understand, and that means that it can be synthetically made stronger or weaker, and generally speaking, it's about 100 times more potent than morphine is.
Wow.
And everybody knows, morphine is fairly potent. And it has a lot of specific things where it actually acts on the breathing center of the brain, and it suppresses your ability to breathe. So if it doesn't affect your lungs, doesn't hurt your lungs, but it'll tell your brain to stop breathing. And so if someone has taken an overdose, and what happens is if you are taking this medication that's not prescribed by your doctor and maybe not provided by a licensed pharmacist here in town, you're kind of playing Russian roulette because you don't know what the exact dosage is and you don't know how your body's going to react to that. So we go out a lot. Almost a call a day for a fentanyl overdose.
Oh, goodness.
And it's where someone's breathing has been suppressed and they're really in danger of dying.
Yeah, Mac, how many overdoses have we had?
We've had, and fentanyl overdoses, about 270 in the past 12 months here in Leon County.
So what can our listening audience, how can they help in terms of if they suspect someone's got an overdose, call 911? How can they help?
No, they absolutely need to call 911. The great thing about Leon County is all of our first responders have been equipped with Narcan. And Narcan actually reverses the effects, the negative breathing effects of fentanyl. And it can allow them to breathe on their own again. The other thing is, and this is a tougher one, if it's somebody you love though and you want to save their life, if they just stop breathing and you don't have Narcan, you have to breathe for them.
Yeah.
So you mouth to mouth or whatever, mouth to mask, whatever it is that you have. But you'll learn a little bit later in this program, I believe, about where you can get Narcan yourself. So if you have friends or family or people that you know that are in danger of overdosing, you can get Narcan, and it's very simple and easy to administer. You don't have to start an IV. You don't have to use a needle. You can administer it in their nasal passage, and it can actually reverse those effects fairly quickly within 2 to 3 minutes and save their life, in essence, before the ambulance gets there. But also, the Sheriff's Office, the Police Department, FSU PD, FAMU PD, they all have Narcan and they carry it. So they've been trained, they know how to use it, so all first responders in our area are able to save a life.
Mac, we talked about saving lives and how important, obviously, getting there first is, but talk about the Good Samaritan law and how it impacts the ability to save lives.
Yeah, it's something people are worried about. Well, if I get involved, I'm going to get sued, I'm going to do something wrong. In Florida, the Good Samaritan Act basically says that if you are in goodwill trying to do something good for somebody, even if something goes wrong, even if that person doesn't survive, you're still covered from liability-wise, and you cannot be sued by anybody for that, for trying to do the right thing. So administering Narcan, trying to do rescue breathing for somebody, all those things are protected, and it's something that you don't have to be fearful of. So people should get involved. If you see someone that's beside the road that's not breathing, definitely call 911, get first responders there, get EMS there. And if you have the ability to do so, do that, whatever is the right thing to do, because that's what's really going to help someone survive this in our community.
Mac, thank you for that critical information. Coming up next, we'll continue our discussion with the details on free resources that are available here in our community to save lives. Stay tuned. We're back with John Wilson, the CEO of DisVillage, one of the leading behavioral health providers focused on drug abuse, prevention, treatment, and intervention resources here in Big Bend, Leon County. Thanks, John, for being on our show today.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Talk about the impacts of fentanyl and drugs in our community.
Well, it's like your previous guest, the number of overdoses and the number of interventions or services or engagements with our staff has increased considerably over the last year. In prior years, the overdose, we were kind of not as much, but this past year it's increased considerable in all of our office areas. Opioid, fentanyl, methamphetamine, as you know, all have increased significantly.
John, DisVillage has been such a staple in our community. Talk to us about what you're doing to provide free access to free medication that can actually help us if somebody does have an overdose, can come in and have some interventions. Talk about that. How do you guys do that?
Yes, absolutely. This village is our 50th year. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary of providing services. As you know, we're in the 8 surrounding counties that we serve. We have 6 office locations now in Greenville, Perry, Apalachicola, Crawfordville, Quincy, and Tallahassee. That's as the substance abuse provider of services for the managing entity and Department of Children and Family. We have access to DCF's statewide supply of Narcan kits. So we have the ability to access it as we need these, and we have them in all of our office areas and make them available upon request. We provide all types of services from intervention to treatment and to recovery.
So if we have a situation out there like we had in Gaston County where Sheriff's Office and local police there did not have the training, how do they get access? How do the citizens get access to Narcan if they need it in our communities?
The easiest and fastest way for anyone is to go to our website, thisvillage.org, and click on Narcan Locator at the top of the web page, and there will be a drop-down menu of 12 various locations throughout their surrounding communities where they can go in and go to the office manager and ask for a kit. When they get, this is what an actual kit will look like. It has two Narcan kits inside and directions on the back. If they need instructions, they can ask for further instructions. And if an agency or a club would like further instructions, our staff are trained to go and provide training to local community providers to give them feel more comfortable about it.
Yeah. Now, how many other agencies in our community are providing, are you the only one providing these resources?
No, I think there's other agencies and hospitals and other types similar to us, other behavioral health services that are providing kits. That we just happen to be a partner with DCF and happen to be a trainer, and it's our mission as part of the substance abuse provider. So we have pretty quick access. We were able to access several boxes of them and get them out to Quincy when the crisis hit there. So we're upping our game. Not only are we have them locally in those offices, but we're also met with faith-based leaders. We have a location at Lively Technical School, the Kearney Center, where we have boxes with these kits in them so people can just go in, and if they'd like to take one to have access, then they'll have it on their person.
John, real quickly, we have about a minute left in the program here, but how bad is our problem with the opioids in our community? Is it really an epidemic?
Yes, it's the services in general are increasing across the board, and coupled with everything else that we're dealing with in the community, it's just been magnified. And the fentanyl has even made it far worse because some of these are, as you know, are accidental overdoses, and people have no intention of doing something. It's caught people off guard.
Well, John, I can't tell you how much we appreciate what you've done in this community, and for so many years, this village has been there for us, the people here in Leon County. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Coming up next, meet LCSO's Rookie of the Year. The details in this week's Deputy on Duty.
In this week's Deputy on Duty, we feature an award-winning employee, Correctional Officer Callie Lawson.
I started working in corrections when I was 19, going to school because I was interested in law enforcement. I worked out of state at another sheriff's department for about 2 years before I took about a little over a year break working in sales. Then I moved to Florida, started working at DOC, and then moved to the county.
Lawson and her husband moved to the Sunshine State during the middle of the COVID pandemic, and in May of 2021, she accepted a position with the Leon County Sheriff's Office at the detention facility.
Everyone from the higher-ups, the assistant sheriff, the sheriff, your captains, they get to know their staff. They know who you are on a first name or last name basis. and that really makes a difference.
As a correctional officer, Lawson plays a major role in the criminal justice system, working to ensure the safety of inmates, visitors, and the civilian staff.
You have 3 things you have to do, which is care, custody, and control. That includes things simple as doing feed up and medication pass, to if you have a medical emergency, being able to know the right policies and procedures to go through and do a DME, which is the medical emergency, dealing with booking, as in new incoming inmates coming into your pod, getting released from your pod, and just making sure your pod is under control at all times.
She's also required to keep accurate and precise records related to the care, custody, and control of inmates.
Not everything is like it is on TV either. It's really easy to look at a movie or a TV show and think that's how it is, but there's a lot of things that go in the background, trying to get inmates rehabilitated, giving them job opportunities when they leave, getting them training, schooling, etc.
Lawson wasted no time establishing herself as a dependable and dedicated employee. In her first year with LCSO, she was nominated for and won Corrections Rookie of the Year award.
I was pretty surprised because I think that a lot of other officers also could have been chosen. There's some phenomenal officers that work here. I was excited. It's nice when you're working for a department for them to feel appreciated in what you do and recognized for that.
Lawson strives for excellence on the job and admits that some days are hard, but the support from her fellow correctional officers is always overflowing.
You're able to talk and just kind of joke around with other officers while you're here, and also seek their help if need be, if you don't know something and they do, and help each other out when needed.
Lawson says the detention facility is just like a small city with plenty of avenues for professional growth and advancement. She encourages others to definitely pursue a career in law enforcement.
I want to see where I can go within the department. There's obviously detention, that you can go to the road. There's all kinds of different opportunities, so I'm just excited for that.
And if you are interested in starting your career with the Leon County Sheriff's Office, please visit our website, leoncountyso.com. I'm Angela Green for Leon County Today. All right, welcome back, Sheriff. We tackled so much on this show today, and hearing Callie's story, Rookie of the Year, that's a huge achievement.
Well, it is, particularly for such a young correctional officer to get that award so early. And it speaks to her tenacity, her willingness to just embed herself into all the things that we do in Leon County Sheriff's detention facility, and hopefully she can be an example to others. You know, we're out there recruiting every day, trying to get people to come in. We have like 50 vacancies in our corrections detention facility, and we are looking for good people like Callie. So if you're out there looking for a job, Leon County Sheriff's Office is hiring.
Absolutely. You can go to our website. We'll give you details as we close out. But, you know, I just want to circle back around to these opioid overdose kits, Narcan. People don't sometimes understand what an overdose is, so following up and just seeking out more information to help save your loved ones is crucial.
Well, I tell you what, having Matt Kemp on and Mr. Wilson on talking about what their agencies are able to do in our community, I hope it educated some folks out there about the dangers of the opioids, and hopefully everybody will go out now and get these Narcan kits. They should be a supply in everybody's house right now, given the fact that we are in an epidemic. So hopefully the listening audience will pick up with some of these things and act on them.
Absolutely. A lot of information is in these kits, so they're available. We'll put details on our website, and to find more information about recruiting and joining our agency, you can log on to our website. It is leoncountyso.com. So bring them on. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next week.